This society, which our forefathers fought for, the last members of the wartime generation of 1418 have died the other week. Men who are 109, 110, 112, 113. Some of them fought in 3 or 4 different major engagements within those wars. What did they fight for? Did they fight for South London the way it is now? Did they fight for Greenwich the way it is now and will become in the future? Did they fight for inner Manchester now? Or did they fight for a different type of England, a different type of Britain, one that resonated with its own national traditions, one which was prouder than it is today, less forlorn and less broken than it is today, less cowardly to be what it is? And they went over the top. They didn't fight for tolerance, progress and multiculturalism. They were fighting for an identity that was ethnic, that was racial, that was culturalised. They knew who they were, even if they hadn't got the wit to express it. They knew what they were. And they had people who interpreted it for them. As Britain declines, there probably will be and the Christian religion seems to have gone for many people, there will be more of a cult of the dead. Because, of course, the generation that fought in the Second War will be coming up to that time a couple of decades from now when there is none of them left. And it has to be said, would they have gone up those beaches? Would they have parachuted onto Arnhem Bridge? Would they have fought in North Africa? Would they have fought in the convoys? Would they have fought against the Chinese? Would they have endured slave labour conditions under Bushido officers in Japanese prisoners of war camp if they could have seen what this country has become now? If they could have seen what this country is like in 2009, when in 2005 we had 1/3 of our tank corps in Iraq and we don't control the streets of South London on a Saturday night. I personally think that many of those who are dead would be shuddering in their graves if they could see what this country has become. 1/5 of us obese, 25% of all children born non-white in extraction. Now, as a reality. And all because our establishment has been fearful and cowardly and lazy and deconstructed and lacks pride and lacks identity and lacks vigour. Did the people who went over the top in 14 or 15 at Ypres and Passchendaele, that were battles that were virtually hell on earth for the people who experienced them, and where the surface of the moon was recreated on the surface of the earth in Belgium and France, did they lack vigour when they went over the top with the others? And all classes died proportionately in relation to the numerical pyramid in the society at the time on those muddy fields, and the same in other wars. The truth is, as we look back upon history, our enemy wasn't the German people, or the Austrian people, or the Italian people, or even the Russian people back in Crimea, or the French. The enemy has been an interconnected series of ideas which have dominated us for 60 to 70 years, called liberal ideas of one sort or another, that have led to one thing after another being given away, until the demographic nature of our cities itself is being given away, until our culture is partly in the process of being given away, although liberals believe that all can share it. But a culture that all can share doesn't have any meaning. If it's as promiscuous as that, what happens to the people who are here already? I noticed the chairman of this party was asked recently on a BBC programme, what about Trevor McDonald? And he said, well, that's all very well. He's very anglicised. He loves cricket. He's probably a Tory voter. But if he is as English as everyone else in every respect, what of the English? Who are they? What are they? How can they be defined? And the BBC interviewer, I believe it's an ex-independent journalist called Andrew Marr, quickly moved on, dear boy, to another topic, because he didn't particularly want to ask. They love to put the question, but they don't want to answer it. And the point to remember is if the whole world comes here, and if everyone claims to be a Westerner. I had a debate once with a Muslim intellectual, and I said to him, if all can be Westerners, and if the West goes universal, what about the people who are Westerners? What about us? What about our civilization? I don't believe the West is a universal civilization, which is why we shouldn't be in Iraq, we shouldn't be in Afghanistan, but at the same time, we want to control our own country and our own streets, and we want to have our own identity here. If the era of empire is over, Let the era of surrender not replace it. Let we not go from imperial domination to a situation where our old people die alone in areas where the mirror of the street says that they're strangers, even to one another.